Howdy! We have some good news for you. Our finances are getting mildly desperate, and I'm slightly stressed about it. And even better, my daughter's car just died. Yes! That's not great news for us or my daughter. But it is great news for you because I'm going to do a book deal to see if I can raise a little bit of money to throw at Alyssa. So, the deal, I'll get right to this. We're covering a number of updates and stuff in this particular rambling video. 4 copies of the Most Dangerous Superstition, yeehaw, signed. Normally that adds up to like $64 on Amazon. I'll do it for $50 and ship it to anywhere in the U.S. I'm going to say this loudly because literally every time I do a book deal, a bunch of people don't notice it. Tell me your address. If you send me money and not an address, I don't know where to send them.
Let's do that one more time. When you send us money, send an address with it in the PayPal notes or in the Venmo notes, or if you're not sending it that way, whatever way you're sending it, like via CashApp, send something that tells us the address. Actually, I think CashApp lets you put an address in it as well. So there's actually no excuse not to send the address. We can't send it to you without that. I have a
transporter. I need to know where the book should go to. So, $50 will get you 4 signed copies of the Most Dangerous Superstition. Thought we'd cover some updates of other things going on. Oh, I didn't bring my notes. We'll see if I remember them all. The Jones Plantation has been shot. We did all that. It's far along in the editing stage. We're actually, I think we're allowed to say this, we're actually about to review a very rough cut with the director and go through it, and that's when you see if anything needs to be added or moved around or anything significant change. It still has to go through the coloring and the sound and then the music, which I'm doing. So there's still, it's a real movie. It's not just a doofus in front of a camera like this. So it takes a whole lot of time and effort to actually make it happen. But that's moving along quite nicely, and I think it's going to be freaking awesome.
Also, when your director's getting really excited and talking like he's getting excited, that's a really good sign.
Yeah.
He's been working on it, so it's a
For
lot
like
of work.
7 months he's been working on it, so yeah. he's been kicking his own butt, which is awesome. And I've mostly been able to work on other things because other than the screenplay and the music, the rest of it is other people's job who actually know what the hell they're doing in making a movie. So that's well underway. We are going to be at an event called Music and Sky from October 13th to 16th. I'm going to put a description below and how to get tickets if you're interested. It's sort of a little bit hippie-ish, but without the obnoxious, irresponsible, inconsiderate scumbag factor. I'll just put it that way. That's a super nice way to put it. So that sounds like a really cool thing. I wasn't at the first one. The first one sold out, but it looks really interesting, so I agreed to do that. And we'll be driving from Phoenix because that's in Southern California. You can see the details there. In the description below. We're also going back to Anarchapulco in February.
Yep. I've actually been talking to Lily Forrester, who a bunch of you guys know from the HBO series The Anarchists, and she's a friend of ours, and she's on the Anarchapulco team now and works for them, and she's been talking to me. And it seems like if we can get just our travel there part covered, it's looking like we can go back. And Larkin actually has a brand new seminar, for those of you that know about Candles in the Dark, a brand new seminar that he's going to bring to Anarchapulco.
Called Making Anarchism Mainstream. Was it Making Anarchism or Making Anarchy Mainstream? Making Anarchy Mainstream. I don't remember which one I was going to call it. It's in the early stages of development. It does have some overlap with Candles in the Dark, but it's a new thing because I see so many anarchists and voluntarists that either do sort of a crummy job of getting out to the rest of humanity with the ideas, or they don't even try because they assume it's not going to work and going to be frustrating and all that. So it's going to be about that. But speaking of that, Candles in the Dark, the online version, for I think one more week, it's going to be at the $75 price, and then it's going up. That's attendcandles.com. It's all one word, no space or anything. So for the next week, from when this video comes out, you can still get that for $75. After that, I think it's going up to $100. So that's another thing to announce. So we're just doing a bajillion projects at once, including things that probably aren't worth mentioning because they're so far down the line, but I'm going to anyway. Like a horror movie, which is a strange thing coming from me if you don't know me.
A horror movie, but we should preface this with this actually started as an idea for a novel he told me he had years ago, and the name of it is Down, and it's turned into just potentially turning what would have been the novel into the script for a movie.
Yeah.
And then you can discuss what you want to do with that, hopefully, depending on how things go.
Yeah, I'll tell nothing about the story except that for a while it's just a scary horror movie, but eventually there's a point, as people who know me would probably guess that might happen. It's
Think like anarcho-horror.
Truly strange concept.
Including, yeah, it's gonna have it's gonna have drama. It's gonna have history. It's gonna have philosophy, psychology, all sort of woven into the story. Because Larkin, his stories are pretty brilliant. And when we went through the story together, when he told it to me and we were kind of talking about it, I was just going, this sort of fires on all cylinders. Like, this is sort of one of those things, sort of like the Jones Plantation. This is one of those things that I think if it became a movie, if Down became a movie, it would reach a different kind of audience, but it would be unique. A lot of people would say this is something like this hasn't really been done before in movies. And one of the cool things for all you horror fans out there is that Larkin isn't going to write the characters as idiots. For some reason in horror movies, all of the main characters do the stupidest crap ever in a horror type of genre. And Larkin was just sort of like, oh, what if the people
with brains, like literally 20 minutes to almost every horror movie, I'm rooting for whatever's trying to kill them.
Because usually the characters in a horror movie are so ignorant, stupid, just the worst examples of people ever. And so one of the fun things is that Down, being anarcho-horror, would actually have all of the characters be kind of a like intelligent, thoughtful adults who are pretty freaking smart and know what they're doing, and the situation they're in is because they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Anyway, that project is way down the road. I mean, it's being thought about now, and I'm writing a treatment for it and stuff. And there's also to be super strange, animated comedy series I want to make that I'm already working on writing. Don't know when that'll happen. Now, in the meantime, I've still been working on the script of The Mirror, which is this gigantic thing, and people always ask me for updates. It's hard to give an update when I'm focused on a script that's just a giant... Again, it's basically writing out every single direction that a Candles in the Dark discussion can go. Like, it asks the question, and then the person can answer however they want, and the next question depends on how they answered. So you're literally scripting out 1,000 different conversations. So there's, it's hard to update on that other than, like, I've been working on that. I'm still working on it. It's freaking huge. And then the animation of that is a separate thing. I do have some people that I want to get to help the animation part, so I'm not a total control freak, but I have to be a total control freak about the script version of it, about what the actual wording of the questions are, because nobody else can do that. At least I don't trust anybody else to do that. So there's that. There's music. Should we play a little bit of a thing? Here's a song that we're almost done.
Dawn of the Free. I've mentioned it on Facebook. Dawn of the Free is the next single that we're going to release after The Beast Behind. And Dawn of the Free came together 5 years ago at the end of 2017, leading up to Anarchapulco 2018, where we performed it. And Larkin had written a much simpler version of it then, because he was writing it for, someone that I'm not a piano player. I was a beginner piano player, and he's the pianist. So he was writing it for someone to be able to join him on the piano who was new. So he had to write the parts,
so
the orchestration.
So we could perform the whole thing live.
Right. Yeah. He had to write it simpler so we could perform it, because I was a noob to that. What's great is that now that he has his sort of dream studio sitting here behind us, and he can compose pretty much anything under the sun, and he's a brilliant composer, and I have a little bit of the songwriting ability too. He was basically able to say, okay, let's take Dawn of the Free as we wrote it. I'm gonna actually fully develop this orchestration way more complex for the sake of putting it on the musical platforms out there. And then I wrote the melody. He had actually sent me the bass of the song in 2017 and said it needs a lyric line and melody line, like lyrics and melody. So the main melody line and the lyrics were me. So this was co-written by us, but all the lyrics are me. And so where we're at now is he's expanded this whole chunk of the song where there's a whole, what do you call it, bridge that sort of wasn't there before. And there's a part that needs new lyrics. So the song is getting expanded. And I've been on the very tail end of finishing that. But between a million other things, and you guys know how artist block goes, there's just not been enough focus where I can like focus enough on the song and get in that creative space and finish enough lately. So now I'm getting back into that, and I'm excited to finish that. Part of the reason we wanted to make this update was let people know that's actually really close to being done now. So once I finish writing that,
and maybe some of you totally don't care because you don't care about music anyway,
right?
But it's one of the things that we would be doing if we weren't constantly focusing on anarchy. And by the way, the message of the song is obviously about freedom.
Yes. So we're very excited about it.
We'll rudely play almost just enough of it to annoy you. not enough of it to actually... and it's a mono mic. I'm probably going to edit in the real version.
I was going to say, I don't know if the mic will pick this up well, so maybe he'll just edit in the thing that he's recording.
But I'll play it so we can hear it so I know where to stop it.
Teaser.
Yeehaw.
You don't get to hear anymore.
That's all you get, and poo-poo. Oh, there's another song, too, that's early in the works that's going to trigger a whole bunch of statists called Man in Uniform. And it'll be months down the line when that's finished.
Man in Uniform.
Yeah, we won't even say anything more about that. We'll just let it speak for itself when it comes
Everyone listening is like inwardly chuckling because they know where that's probably going.
Yeah, you could probably guess, but I actually think, and it's not even like a flippant thing. It's a serious song, but I think it's going to trigger and traumatize a lot of people and make them uncomfortable in a very needed way. Yep. So I think that's sort of all the stuff we randomly had to update on. There's probably 15 other things we're working on because we always are. If you want the book deal, 4 of these, zippity-doo-dah, then below we'll show how to send payments. And if you want to just donate to help my daughter out or something, you can do that. The list of things will be below.
Yeah, so quick story about that. A little while ago, everyone actually helped Alyssa put money towards a new car, and she got a decent car that ran really well and everything was fine. And it's a hybrid. And I guess just yesterday, Larkin got a message from her and then got in touch with her and found out that I think the electrical engine or something, the huge part of it that it needs to actually work without. Basically, the part that they would need to repair is now, it's not worth it to save the car. The car is just sort of gone.
And she's, Alyssa's really dang hardworking and responsible and way more responsible and organized with money than I was at that age.
And she wouldn't ask us to do this. Like, she doesn't, I'm sure she doesn't want us to do this, but I'm doing it anyway.
But if we can help her, I want to, because she's awesome.
Yep.
So I guess that's about enough ranting and updates for now. And in the bottom, in the whatever it's called description below, we'll have all the links for how to do everything and learn about everything and everything and everything. Amen.
And if you haven't yet, subscribe to theroastchannel.com.
Oh yeah, that too. Now, amen. Yeah.
You're weird.